Hi and welcome. This is our Sunrider call in June, on June 7th, 2022. And today we're talking about a really important subject, and that's the Sunrider difference. What makes Sunrider different, and what is the philosophy of regeneration? And I just wanted to start off with sharing my screen to go over one of the biggest things that caught my attention 25 years ago. And I'm going to share the screen so that you can see this. What is Sunrider Regeneration? Sunrider's philosophy. And I think, yeah, there. So can you see that? Yes, everybody's nodding. Thank you. Okay, so Sunrider's philosophy of regeneration. Number one, the body has the ability to balance itself with proper nutrition. Number two, the body is designed to obtain its nutrition from whole foods. Number three, each person must be willing to accept responsibility for his or her health. Where did Sunrider's philosophy of regeneration come from? The Chinese have the distinction of having the world's longest ongoing record of scientific inquiry spanning a period of at least 5,000 years. Long ago, the Chinese discovered that if we restore harmony among all the systems of our bodies, they can and will balance themselves. As communication between our body systems is restored, we return to health. This is the philosophy of regeneration. There are many approaches to achieving happiness, health, and longevity in the Chinese philosophy. And a basic concept would be eat the foods that nourish you and avoid the foods that harm you. This is the nutritional approach used by the Chinese in its simplest form. Using this approach in conjunction with good common sense in your lifestyle will have a very positive impact on how you feel. So those, the philosophy of regeneration is something that can't be duplicated with another company because they don't have the historic records that Dr. Tei-Fu Chen, the founder of Sunrider, has. And I'm going to call on my first guest speaker, who is Randy Fritz. And he's going to tell us a little bit about the origin of Sunrider and what this is based on. Please go ahead, Randy, and introduce yourself and tell us how many years you've been with Sunrider. Can't hear you yet. Yeah.
There we go.
There.
Thank you, Diana. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to talk right away, but when I saw your notice, I should say that, boy, that's the easiest thing I could imagine to talk about is the Sunrider difference, because it's different on every single point, every single aspect of it. And what you just talked about, the philosophy of regeneration, is the beginning of that. No other company has actual philosophies. Some companies might even use the word regeneration, but they just mean that it's good for you, or that your body does something good. Whereas as you said, 5,000 years of Chinese research have figured out very carefully how to get the body in a proper balanced state. And we were lucky. Well, I guess everybody that's listening, we're just very, very lucky to come across a company that was started by someone who truly understood that and who had the formulas, like you said, and actually had the wherewithal, because he had worked in other health food companies. He had the technical understanding to actually bring that into a food that we could use and eat and enjoy. And I'll stop. That's as much as us. Other than that, I love it. I remember when Gray Jensen first articulated those 3 points, and that was, I guess, 30 plus years ago. And it just resonated with everyone so powerfully that we've kept that. The first thing that I would like to say about the foods is that they're concentrated. And it's in that concentration process that we get a food that's not only much more powerful, but more easy to digest. And there's no other company in the world that has that kind of concentration and has the kind of facilities that we have. There's all kinds of other differences, so I'll let somebody else talk about those.
Oh, thank you for jumping in so well without warning. I hadn't warned you about what I was going to call on you for, but that's the background is so amazing. And to this day, like you say, there is no competition in this. There's other people may even talk about whole foods, but Dr. Chen was the one that founded that concept basically for the Western world, and whole foods instead of isolates. That was very new to me, because when I had studied, I was a naturopath in 1980. I never stayed in that profession, but I did everything was based on single herbs for single uses and single vitamins for this vitamin will help this. It wasn't a holistic approach, and that's what Dr. Chen excels at, and based on the ancient manuscripts describes how our whole bodies work together. The circulatory, respiratory, immune, endocrine, and digestive systems are all working together, and that's what the quinary or quinary formula is based on, that philosophy. And then all the other products are also. And you mentioned about, well, whole foods. And I think Kathy Cook, if I can call on you, you have some stories to tell about that, or some information to give us. And yes, if you would like to introduce yourself and go ahead, please.
So I'm Kathy Cook. I've been eating these foods for about 14 years, I think it is now, 13 or 14. And yes, it's amazing. When I discovered these foods, it was just a whole game changer, to know that, a whole food has to have certain things. It has to have amino acids, glucose, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals. And that's what makes this whole food. And that's what Sunrider is. I mean, that's what our New Plus is based on. That's what everything is based on. And I love that it's intact. The whole food nutrition's intact. Some people say, well, I don't understand that, how it can be when it's in a powder, if it's all intact still. But, the thing is, you think about, you take a carrot and you cut it in half. Well, you don't lose the nutrition. It's still there. It's cut, but you didn't lose the nutrition, Trying to think, did you have a specific story that I was going to tell?
Yeah, I think you said something about, or Dottie said something about a salad or 70 different foods. Was it you or was it Dottie? 70 foods on a table.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
This was the greatest visual ever when in the very beginnings, we think when we do our 72 food power shake, it consists of the a Vita Shake, which has about 13 foods, I think it is. I don't know, I can't remember, but put that with the Cali, with the Fortune, with the Sunny Dew, and the Quinary, and you just blend that up together. You have 72 different foods in that. And so we did a little visual by taking a big round table, and we tried to buy 72 foods, different foods, vegetables and all the different foods, and pile that on the table. And when you look at that table, there is no way that you can consume that. There is no way possible. However, in your shake, it's just a cinch. You're getting 72 different foods in your little shake. And what in the world? You're giving your body this most amazing nutrition. It's just hard to fathom until you see that word picture, that visual, I think,
Absolutely. That's a fantastic visual and a amazing way to demonstrate it. And for me, I love the fact that these are actually juiced and dried foods. When we tour the manufacturing plant, which has always been in California, but now is in Texas, we would always see gigantic juicers that go up like 3 stories high that Dr. Tei-Fu Chen had made in Germany with stainless steel. He thinks of everything of how pure to keep the juices. And then the plants, he may juice one plant and have it soaked in the juice of another, take the stem of another, and he has these ancient formulas so that nobody could duplicate them. So even if you've got the same ingredients on a package, it would be different. And so I loved juicing at one point in my life, but I got really, really tired of it because it's so much work and all that cleanup that you have to do, and you have to buy all your vegetables. And so I just feel so grateful because Dr. Chen has done that for us. So our new plus is all juiced plants and in a special formula. Same with the quinary, and then they're dried. So there's various steps to the manufacturing process, and one of them is the concentration. Does anyone want to speak to the concentration of the Sunrider plants? Oh, and the formulation or anything about, about the way that they're made and your experience with touring the manufacturing plant? Faye or Dottie?
I could say something about the formulation.
That'd be great.
The early on in my health career, I took a herbologist course, and you can get these books and they tell you all the effects of this herb or that herb or that kind of thing. And what I see in some of the formulations that you would just pick up in a health food store is somebody said, oh, this herb, is this supposed to be good for your stomach? This one's good for your stomach. This one's good for your stomach. I'll put these 3 things together, and that's what they call a stomach formula. But the truth is, maybe those herbs don't work well together. And the Chinese spent, as we said, thousands of years figuring out which herbs did work together. Some herbs help other herbs to work in a specific part of the body. And all that's been figured out for us. And I remember when we first started, some people know me as the vitality analysis guy, the tester. And we started testing other products. There's even products out there that have a number of different foods in them, and they actually say they're live. Oh yes, we've got kind of sort of like juice type things. But when we tested them, they just weren't good for people because they weren't the right ones. And that's very, very important. And so it's really, really nice knowing that's figured out what foods to actually eat for what parts of the body, and what foods are good for the whole body. So we're very, very lucky anyway.
Thank you for telling us another difference. And that's so important because Tei-Fu Chen is a master herbalist. And he tells us a story about when he was 6 or 7 years old, and his grandfather had these ancient recipes, and he was a very sickly child. And he said his nickname was Chopstick. And he says, not 2 chopsticks, 1 chopstick. He was so skinny. And even to this day, you can see one of his eyes just looks different from the other. And that was because he was not well as a child. And so he had these Chinese herbs did not taste good. In fact, they smelt and tasted terrible. And he has told us how that he got well with them, and that was part of his inspiration for bringing these to the Western world and have them taste good. So we are so lucky because everything is delicious. And yeah, the new plus is delicious, and the quinary and everything. Like, I like the quinary. Some people don't like the taste of it, but you can have it in capsules. I have 2 people entering the room, so I will admit those 2 people, and we will continue. So let me see. I also want to mention the difference between medicinal and food herbs. That is a huge difference, because if you're using Sunrider, babies can have it, children, seniors, everybody, it's good for them. And if you have a medicinal herb, like something like echinacea, so echinacea would be considered medicinal, and you would see on the bottle that you should only use it for 2 weeks and then stop. And that's a huge difference. And that's why actually sometimes, you know, doctors and others need to be educated that these are like foods. Instead, these are foods rather than being medicines. So does anyone else have something along that line that they want to contribute? Faye, do you have something?
Diana, I wanted to go back and talk a little bit about concentration. Kathy was saying about her display. We did a display at a church meeting where we talked about variety, and we had this beautiful basket, and we weighed about 10 pounds of different vegetables and fruits so that people could actually see the variety and the weight. And we told them, we weighed this is about 10 pounds. So when you have these foods concentrated from about 10 pounds, 7 to 10 pounds to about a pound, you are getting intense nutrition. And so when people see it, it's like, whoa. And I would have packs of Neoplas, a pack of Neoplas, a pack of quinary, Fortune and Cali in a bag, and Sunnydew, just so that they can see this is what you're getting for the 72 foods. Highly, highly concentrated nutrition. And I always say, when you are, when you're doing a salad, when you're eating a salad, you might, you know, the most I think people will have about 6 different fruit vegetables. And that's good. You know, to get about 10 different vegetables is rare, but that's what you're getting in terms of visually getting them to see 72 different foods and nutrition, highly, highly concentration. Properly combined, that's a whole different story altogether. And Dr. Chen, he's being an expert at combining. You know, when we're sitting down to eat, we are just picking fruit, vegetables, for the most part, picking vegetables that we like. Maybe we'll want to get a variety of colors, but we don't really think so much about food combining. And so Dr. Chen has done all that homework for us. He's a chef. He's put that all together, the concentration, the synergy, how each of these herbs interact with one another, so that each herb is bringing the potency or the effectiveness of the other one, and taking away the negative effects of anything that's there. There's so much to what he has put together for us. This is really a gift to humanity. And I say, when we are talking about Sunrider, it's really about nutritional, what's the word I was thinking about the other day? It's spiritual nutrition. And you're giving your body this intense nutrition by nourishing the body, cleansing the body, and strengthening the organs, so the whole body is in constant communication. There is no other company that does that. So we are unique and different.
I love that. You've expressed that so beautifully. Gift to humanity and spiritual nutrition. I love it. And I'm going to read a little bit more down here. Sunrider foods are food grade herbs. We've talked about that, not medicinal herbs. So what happens is with medicines and medicinal herbs, they correct symptoms, but the body becomes weaker long term. And I remember hearing that for the first time when I heard, well, like taking insulin, then your body says, oh, okay, I don't have to make insulin. So, you know, I'm not saying go off your insulin, of course, but I'm saying that over time, the medications make the body lazy, or at least it doesn't know what to do anymore. So, and it's just like even getting vitamin C. If you eat tons of vitamin C, your body isn't going to be looking to extract it or utilize it from your oranges. So it's just the isolate is very a different concept. The fact that we really concentrate on whole foods so that the body can utilize it. So foods nourish the body and allow the body to correct the cause behind the symptoms, allowing the body to become stronger and do its own work. And that's the same as when I first heard about Kelly and how it strengthens your organs. It strengthens your major organs so that they can do the cleansing, which is the job that they're supposed to be doing. So it's not taking it away. It's not like a detox tea that just comes in and cleans out your body. But then you just eat the same junk food and your body isn't any improved at all. Whereas with the Kelly and the Fortune Delight, you start to restore and strengthen and regenerate. So that's part of the philosophy of regeneration. And I'd just like to call on Dottie. I know we've covered a lot, but Dottie, if you have something we haven't covered, or if you want to, tell a little bit more about this being a family business and the self-manufacturing and some of the things that we haven't highlighted yet.
Very good, Diana. But before I talk, Diane Parnell had something she wanted to say. So let's see what she had to say.
I would love it.
It was just a thought as you're talking about all these wonderful foods and how much it takes to get there. This seems to me to be the original farm to fork food. It is produced and ready just for you to nourish your body. And that's the big buzzword out there these days. And so it's a really good way of thinking about this. This is farm to fork, right there, healthy for you with nothing in between. And I like that idea. So that's all.
I love that. Thanks, Diane. That's fantastic.
So I saw we had a question. Somebody said, who said, let food be your medicine? Well, that would be Hippocrates, the father of medicine, right? He said, let food be your medicine, let medicine be your food. So that's what we're doing with Sunrider. Isn't that wonderful? So yeah, the self-manufacturing, I think is what you mentioned, Diana. Sunrider self-manufactures all their products. They oversee everything from seed to finished product. Nothing is outsourced to anybody else. I was listening to somebody very good the other day, and they were holding up their bottle of all these fruits and vegetables they had put into one bottle, and they were saying, I take this every day, and it's got all these, and says, yeah, I get this company over here to make it for me. And I'm going like, so this person has no expertise. Okay, they just know that you just kind of threw all these things together, and this company over here will make it for me. We don't do that in Sunrider. Sunrider, we have our own research and development. We test everything. Everything is manufactured in-house. We even make our own capsules. We don't even outsource our own capsules. So, I mean, we're just such a unique company. And of course, we have all of this expertise, Dr. Chen, his wife, Oilin, a medical doctor, and now the children who all have expertise in different areas. It's just a phenomenal company. It's phenomenally run, and the equipment. I mean, what food grade company do you know that gets a pharmaceutical grade rating? but Sunrider does, not because we have to, but because that is Dr. Chen's standard. He wants everything to the highest standard. And so therefore, we voluntarily get, from the company, we voluntarily do this to get this pharmaceutical grade rating. And all that goes with that, it means that our products are the highest quality, and you can, the standard is great, and the standard is there, and the purity and the efficacy of the products is going to be there. So, self-manufacturing is so important, not outsourcing to somebody else, because when you outsource to somebody else, you can't quality control. And so I'm just so thankful. When I found that out, I thought, wow, this is a company that goes above and beyond.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much. And you covered more than I had even expected. And I did not know that Sunrider made their own capsules. Wow, that's interesting. Yay. So I'm just going to share my screen again and see if we've covered a lot of what I've got here. Sunrider International is an herbal food company that produces organic. They're not all organic, but they are grown without pesticides, and they are, Dr. Chen has a special process to remove any heavy metals, or to check the quality of every load of herbs that comes in, so that they're all just absolutely the best. So they're not medicinal herbs. An herb is a plant. In America, we tend to think of herbs only as seasonings or medicines. And they're grown free of pesticides and herbicides. Concentrated, whole live enzyme foods, nourishing to all systems of the body, nutrient dense, free of pesticides and additives, easily digested and totally assimilable, free of animal products and preservatives, foods not medicines or medicinal herbs, foods not vitamins, vitamins are isolated chemicals, foods not protein powders. Well, we have a protein powder now, but it is all food. So I think I will stop sharing my screen right now, and I think I'm going to end the recorded part, and we will have 10 minutes for questions and answers if you'd like. So I just want to thank each one of my co-hosts and for just stepping up to the plate and covering so much. And we're having another call in 1 week. So make sure that you contact your upline and find out more about how you can learn more. And if you have any questions, we're all here to help you. So have a healthy day. And where am I going to stop this? There. Bye for now.